Chris's mom is playing Fallout. Chris's mom is watching Fallout. Chris's mom is in Chicago.
What are you doing?
I was thinking about all the Chris's mom jokes we've made, come up with in the writers' meetings. You realize Chris totally skipped like 3 episodes?
No, I think I've seen him at all the meetings.
No, we missed a few Chris's mom jokes this season. Chris's mom now owns the plot of land the Bears are eyeing. That's a mouthful.
Don't you think there are more important things we should be doing?
No way. This is the last episode of the season. We have to get in as many as possible.
Okay, let me try then. Chris's mom...
Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, the premier media entertainment news show. I am not Julie.
And I am not Apollo. Today we'd like to take the time to reflect on the last season and have a little bit of fun.
That we do. I want to look back at my experience shadowing Chris to become the head writer for next year.
We have a reflection on the Frog Baby Film Festival.
What's it like working on crew? Liam sure has an idea.
Did you guys know we have an entire room dedicated to editing?
That we do. There are also a ton of other exciting things this team has done together, and Isaac wants to yap all about it.
And then I have another segment where I talk about hosting with the previous host.
Right. And for the last time, Chris's mom has finally achieved full netherite armor on Minecraft. This may be the final time you'll get to see my ugly mug on camera. Hold your tears, though, and listen to my beautiful words one last time. This past semester, I alone have been the honored one to shadow our creative producer, Christopher Logan II, or whatever his title is. Let me tell you from firsthand experience, his job is not easy. I cannot tell you how difficult it is to roll out of bed at noon on the day of filming, write all of the host jokes in 30 minutes, and then forget to send it to the team. I kid, but only because Chris is giving me the Kubrick stare from the control room. In all seriousness, though, I've gotten to work very closely with the people here, and I've seen all the different sides of the work that goes on here at Real Deal. And I couldn't be happier to be surrounded by such talented and devoted people. I got to work with Chris on writing host segments and developing my own segments. I also did a few other things, like being a host, going on the podcast, visiting editor's room, putting my hat in the ring for producer, and probably other things. Real Deal, you have my heart, my soul, and as much time as I can give you. It has been such a wild ride, and I can't wait to come back next year and replace Chris. I guess this is the end of my final segment, so one last time, back to the hosts.
I see you right now.
What?
You said that would be the final time we'd see you. But you're right here.
Wow, I meant the episode, Julie.
You should have said that then. You're right. We should go on to my segment now. My friends, the darkness encroaches. The sun begins to set on another year of hardship and strife, of pain and bereavement, but also of whimsy and creativity. Yay! And so I say we end on a last hurrah. There's no better celebration of our wonderfully talented media department than Ball State's own Frog Baby Film Festival. For 27 years now, pretentious film bros and baggy-eyed animators alike have come together to show off the fruits of this year's labor. And I'm happy to report this year's crowd was 100 plus people. That's one of the biggest that anyone has ever seen at any event ever. And of course, award shows aren't just about giving out accolades. They're about recognizing the talent cultivated on our campus. So let's recognize them again. That's right, we're doing a lightning round. One blurb for each of the shots premiered at the festival. The newsroom might not be as bombastic as Pruis Hall, but let's not kid ourselves. These acknowledges are just as prestigious. The premiere kicked off with Cheating Death, the first of many classic student shorts that took one good idea and fleshed it out. And this one in particular had some real nice color. Next was 100 Ways to Get Over You, a bittersweet story about heartbreak with a lot of dramedy personality. November 1st was eerie, atmospheric, and featured a familiar, sleep-deprived face. Mr. Tophilus' Magic 8 Ball featured a spine-chilling performance from its titular character, and Silent Film School was a nice, grounded look into the philosophy of an indie band. After their first intermission, festival attendees came back to see a rare and very welcome appearance of a mockumentary in Musical Town, a documentary. That happy tone was immediately dashed with Urban Finds at Freddy's, a short animated in Blender that I still cannot believe came from a Ball State student. Die on Command was quirky and inspired. Love Booms was gorgeously animated queer romance. And Leaves Are Weird was adorable and showed documentaries can be educational and imaginative. River Cleanup followed that trend soon after with a documentary that got me feeling sentimental about the creeks here in Muncie. The Manatee presented us with a thought-provoking conversation, and the Audience Choice Award-winning Pet Project stood out with some of the most unique 3D animation I've ever seen in, gosh, I don't even know how long. So many shorts from this festival blew me away with their creativity, and Last Courier of the West did too, with some surprises, cameos from our media faculty. The Raging Tempest and Hearts were two back-to-back noirs full of great cinematography, and the documentaries shown afterwards, The People Behind the Museum, reinforced that so much beauty can be found on this campus, as long as you shoot from the right angles. The Broken Cog taught us that even if that beauty seems to be fading, it must be sought out and fought for. Creature Man, Yin Yang was visually interesting. And finally, ended the premiere in the most satisfying and inspiring way possible, as a heartwarming piece celebrating all of the beauty that comes from humanity. This festival was an exciting and uplifting one, and everyone who submitted should be so proud of their work. Slaving over a Premiere Pro timeline for weeks on end is daunting, but not as daunting as creating something that distills your entire life, your experiences and ideas, into something that crowds of people will watch and learn from. As creatives, it's our job to teach people about the parts of being human one might gloss over. Frog Baby Film Fest is ongoing, and only projects created from now until April will be accepted into the 28th annual premiere. So now is as good a time as any to get started.
That was surprisingly serious for a Julie segment.
I had to prove just once that I could be serious.
I'm actually kind of impressed. How'd you write it?
The segment.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
What?
Liam wrote it.
Well, even though it's less impressive, you still read it well.
I did read it well, didn't I?
Yes, Julie. Real Dealers, you always see us talent on screen, but we never talk about all the lovely people behind the camera.
Yes, there's a whole list of talented people behind the cameras that we'd like to highlight next.
So without further ado, here's Liam, the part-time crew member, part-time talent.
Hey guys, Liam here. I wrote the Frog Baby segment and Julie performed it. I didn't write this one. Wowzers. Really, wowzers, that's okay. Anyway, I've been working on crew all semester as well as appearing on camera, which has given me a different perspective on all the workings of this club. I mean, for one, on the day of filming, I just have to show up and read when I'm on talent. But when I'm on crew, I could be doing any number of things, from checking the audio to fixing the cameras in position. All the pressure is on you to perform your best every time. But on the other hand, being talent requires more of my time outside of the club, showing up to more meetings and writing over the weekends. If I had to choose a favorite, it'd be a close call, but I'd say the crew side. I love working with the gadgets and the tech of the studio to produce the show, and Allie's a fun boss, not to dog on Chris, but Allie runs a tight ship from this control room here. I'd also like to point out that some of the fun we have in the control room that never makes it on camera. During the downtimes of each segment, or when we're refilming something or something else, etc., we usually have a team of crew and producers all together hanging out and having some really interesting conversations. I think this club has taught me a lot more about Angry Birds and Skibbity than I would have learned from 100 years otherwise. There's so much to this show that you guys don't really get to see. I hope this gave a little more detail for you guys back home. Also, last thing, I like that there's no dress code for the crew. I'm tired of being this camera-presentable grandpa.
Well, that's too dang bad, Liam.
Did you know we had a dress code?
Yeah, collared shirts or nicer.
Oh, that rule. I thought that was because Chris just didn't like t-shirts.
What?
I thought Chris was a collar supremacist.
What even is a collar supremacist? Do they look down on you for wearing casual clothes or something?
You know what? If you're going to be such a bigamist against collar supremacists, then I just won't even bother talking to you anymore.
None of those words mean what you think they do. And I think this is the perfect jumping off point for the next segment.
I think you're right.
Thank you, Julie and Apollo. Real Dealers, today is the last episode of season 25, marking the end of what I believe was one of our best years yet for the club. For one, no hosts were killed off this year. Yay! Either our producers really like them enough to let them live, or they just refuse to die, period. Either way, I'd say that's a plus. Go team. Moving on though, I've enjoyed getting to write weekly segments, be your favorite sports analyst, go Birds, and be forced by Chris to deliver segments every single week on camera for all of you lovely people. But today, I'm not here to talk about all the joy I bring to the writer's room and filming days. Did you know I also edit some of our videos? Crazy! In fact, I initially joined Real Deal as an editor. Shout out to Max Van Doggen for helping me join the club. What a real one, guys. I can easily say that the weekly editing meetings are one of the highlights of my week. So, in honor of my love for our post-production team, I'll be sharing some of my favorite moments during editors' meetings. Every editors' meeting, I have my daily ritual. See, there's this big whiteboard in the classroom where we host our meetings, so at the beginning of the year, I started writing a Vine of the Week. Maybe some of you guys have seen it and wondered, who was that very cool and mysterious person leaving these iconic moments on the board? Yeah, guys, it was me. Moving on, I also enjoyed some of the occasional games of Among Us, but a highlight for me was the first time we all decided to play the hide-and-seek version of the game. Now, the difference between that is you immediately know who the imposter is, so we spent the entire time panicking and screaming at each other, trying not to get killed or get in each other's way. And in my opinion, that's probably the best way we could have bonded with each other at the start of the semester, because nothing brings people closer together than betraying each other in Among Us. Of course, some of my favorite shenanigans, I can't exactly narrow down the specific events. All the app sessions and the rants that caused us to stay in editor's room much longer than we probably should have, trying to penguin slide across the long tables, and the occasional Cars binge watching, courtesy of Sarah. I can't imagine a more interesting way to spend my Monday evening, so thank you, Editor's Room, for always keeping me on my toes and always keeping me awake. I also forgot to mention that one time I stayed in school until 2:30 in the morning. Fun times. In addition, I want to share some final words. Throughout the year, I've gotten to expand my production skills in each side of Real Deal. And as a bonus, I got to work with some amazing, talented, and very creative people. I feel lucky to call them my friends. Hopefully it's not all a one-sided thing, because that'd be pretty awkward. Seniors, I'll miss each and every one of you. Good luck with everything. So until next time, Real Deal, and for the last and final time, go Birds!
Why did she manifest that?
Manifest what?
Talking about not killing off a host, one of us is definitely screwed now.
I think we're safe. We're living in the rebooted timeline. If we're gonna dive into the lore of the show.
Maybe, but then again, maybe they're trying to lull us into this false sense of security. What if they do some techno guru nonsense and kill one of us in the edit?
That ain't how it works, and it would be a bad look for the show.
Why is that?
This is the last episode before Pride Month. You can't kill off your representation, then go on hiatus for the whole month of June.
Oh, you're so right. We have plot armor.
That's not what I was going for, but yeah, I guess we do.
Well, if we're safe forever, what do we do now?
Move on to the next segment?
Oh, freaking course.
Hello, Real Dealers, and welcome to my final segment. I would like to take this opportunity to reminisce on all the adventures we've had through Real Deal. Whether it's late night Chavez runs or bothering Max Van Doggen for the 15th time this week, I will be remembering these moments for the rest of my life. But one story stands above the rest, the time we slayed the Bell Tower Dragon. One day, me, Tanner, Sarah, Chris, Nathaniel, both Allies, and the rest of Real Deal were playing Magic the Gathering, as all of us do quite frequently, when suddenly we heard a loud scream. I look over and see Max Van Doggen running from outside. Oh my god, guys, look, there's a dragon. At once, we all spring in unison, ready to protect the Kingdom of Ball State. When we get outside, the dragon is perched upon the tower, kind of like twisting around it, like this. And there was a drawbridge leading up to the top of the tower, kind of like in Shrek. We were rocking our way up the bridge, and we were very careful because last time a bridge collapsed, we weren't able to finish an episode. And when we got to the top, he started spilling out his evil speech, but before he could even get a sentence out, Apollo just Randy Orton's the poor fella. They grabbed the back of the dragon's head and slammed him all the way to sea level. And me and everyone else jumped down. We all held him down by his arms and legs. Tanner grabbed a sword from somewhere, chopped the dragon's head off. It was awesome. Trust me, you just kind of had to be there, but it was awesome.
Anyways, this is my final segment. I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that I love all of you and I miss all of you so much. I will miss all of you so much. The Real Deal has meant so much to me these last 3 years, and I won't forget about any of you. Bye-bye.
I thought we jumped the shark last season.
No. This was about slaying a dragon.
No, I get that, but isn't this like going too far?
Isn't this going too meta?
Touche, my dear co-host.
Anyways, what's wrong with letting Isaac live out his schizophrenic fantasies from this table for the last time?
You're right. Hey, maybe he's the guy we kill off this season.
He never hosted the show.
He ran the podcast.
Why are we so obsessed with killing off our hosts when they leave? Why can't they just retire with dignity?
Drama? Got to keep the people coming back somehow.
I say, no more. No more killing off characters on our shows just for drama. Let an innocent boy and or girl live, please.
Well, we will see if your prayer is answered after this, our final segment.
What's up, The Real Deal? Hosted at Ball State University in the University Media Lounge on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, we're going to be talking about hosting.
Hey.
Jasmine's here too. Anyway, I'll start. Personally, I loved being a host this season. It was so much fun to get up to the wacky antics with Apollo. Even when we're not recording, there's so many silly jokes and gags and goofs going on. I never thought I would ever get a shot at being host, and I'm so glad and grateful that I did. I found so much confidence in how I perform and write. Said things have translated to an increased confidence in myself. Seeing the folks in the AV room laugh at our performances, jokes, and even bloopers is invigorating. Getting to bring joy to those around me and being capable of doing so really helped me during some very rough periods of this semester. Whether I'm host next semester or I moved on to an executive position, this is the correct answer. Or I'm just back to being a regular schmegular civilian in The Real Deal. It was an honor serving you all. So, what about you, Jasmine?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. Real Deal's cool.
Wait, what about hosting?
Yeah, Real Deal hosting was a lot of fun. Seriously, I had a wonderful experience as host for my first semester as a member of Real Deal. It was a blast going to every writer's room, getting to know the entire crew, and having meaningful experiences together. I'm going to miss all the seniors graduating, and I hope they know how they played a huge part in my enjoyment at this club.
And with that, back to you, Apollo. And what?
That was interesting.
I thought it fitting.
Yeah, maybe, but for the last segment, what was up with Jasmine?
She was distracted by the news of what host we killed off this season.
Tanner?
Oh, heavens no. Nah, they killed Chris.
Oh my god.
I don't even know who they are, but that's what they decided.
That's so, I want to say sad, but I just ain't feeling it.
Yeah, it's a crazy turn of events. Maybe next time, if there is a next time, they'll kill off a character we, actually care about.
Yeah, well, this is the last part of the show.
Yep.
Should we do our normal outro?
I mean, we could,
Or what?
well, we don't have a head writer anymore till next season, of course, so wouldn't it be funny if we ended the episode like The Sopranos?